Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us on the first day of your weekend for our daily English news edition. I'm Daniel Cook, your host, presenting a translated version of the Albanian news Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. Two Czech tourists were murdered yesterday evening on a camping trip in the mountains of Dukagjin. They were apparently attacked by a passenger in their own vehicle, about 100 meters away from their camp. The investigation into the murder continues, and the police are offering a reward of 30,000 lek for any information that leads to the killer's arrest. They also, it's 30,000 euro. They also guarantee that the informant will remain anonymous. The autopsy revealed that both of the victims, a man and a woman, were shot in the head. Michael Svatos, 27 years old, was shot twice in the back of the head, while Anna Kasanova, 36 years old, was shot once. The police statement reveals that there was a third person traveling in the vehicle with them, and that it was this third passenger that shot the two travelers from behind. The vice police director says that after killing them, the shooter got out and began shooting up the vehicle as well. According to the detectives, the murder seems to have been connected to a robbery. To cover his or her tracks, the thief then ran the vehicle off of a 15-foot cliff. This led to the event being initially reported as a car accident. The police have questioned about 30 people in the case so far. The Albanian Tourism Association has reacted to the incident that occurred in Dukagjin, in which two Czech tourists were gunned down. In their notification, the Association of Tourism calls on the government to take action and to prevent these kinds of events, which damage the reputation of Albania as a touristic country. The murder of the two Czech tourists is a shocking event and one of the most serious events in Albania's touristic sector in years. The association has conveyed its condolences to the relatives of the two young tourists who lost their lives while visiting our country. The manufacturing business sector is declaring that the package of measures that was installed by the government a few months ago is not being implemented. The head of the manufacturing sector, Gjika, states that the Customs Administration is not implementing the mitigating measures that the package provided, and that they are imposing heavy fines on the companies that produce clothing and shoes. Mr. Gjika had this to say: "A good portion of the mitigation measures have already been fixed in law. Some very important points of the package have been added to the customs law. They are not being applied in practice. The Customs Administration continues to practice according to the old law, and as a result, many companies are being given absurd and unaffordable penalties. The manufacturing sector is going through difficult times, at least partially due to high taxes, which have significantly increased their cost of doing business." Mr. Gjika says that they have requested that these unfavorable elements be reviewed and lifted. The Instat data shows a 2% decline in sportswear and shoes in the first 5 months of this year, while last year the industry grew by about 25% and had the biggest impact on the increase in 2014. According to Albania's economic experts, the decline of the projections for Albania's economic growth for 2015 is due to the level of informality and the failure to realize income projections for the first 5 months of this year. The economic expert Preçi declares that the economy is not performing as it should perform. He appeals for a fight against corruption and informality in the economy. Mr. Preçi says, "The economy is not performing properly. For about 2 to 3 years, we have been in a situation of near stagnancy, while an economic increase of below 2%. In these conditions, fighting informality remains the foremost priority for increasing the revenue in the budget. We should be careful because what is happening to Greece could be replicated in other countries." Preçi says that while a tax increase may seem like it would help to meet the budgeted revenue, it would not be a real solution. "Tax rates and fiscal burden are making the country less attractive," he says, "and any further tax increase will not serve the good of the country," said Mr. Preçi. Prime Minister Rama defended the new law on education today and listed its benefits compared to the existing law. The Prime Minister said that the new law will lay the foundation for real autonomy in the universities. He gave his assurance that anarchy and mediocrity will not rule under this new law. The Prime Minister stated, "The thing that has been called autonomy before today is a farce, based on a system that does not produce autonomy. The new system that will come into force under the new law will set the basis of real autonomy in the universities, ensuring that there will be no anarchy or mediocrity. We will not compromise quality," said Mr. Rama. One of the most criticized parts of the law is the issue of funding. Those who oppose the law say that it will fund the private education sector with public money. The Prime Minister says that this is just speculation and that in reality the contrary is true. The Prime Minister says that the new law will accept private funds in public education. According to the Prime Minister, the new law will guarantee academic and administrative quality. Somewhat earlier, a number of university professors announced that they are drafting a memo in which they will list their reasons for discontent about the new law. Thousands of marijuana plants are being destroyed across the country in a widespread police action. In the last several hours, the police have found and destroyed 7 plots of the drug in Vlora, growing 487 cannabis plants in 3 different villages. The police have arrested the owner of the plots in one village, but the other owners have not yet been found. 630 cannabis plants have been destroyed in Berat. The police arrested the village magistrate and 4 other people who are accused of growing the drugs in cooperation. 279 marijuana plants were destroyed in Elbasan, and the police arrested the owners of the plots. In Shkodra, the police found 6,138 marijuana plants, which were divided into 24 plots of land. The police destroyed the drugs, but they have not yet located the owners. The police also discovered and destroyed 3,130 plants in Tepelena. Cannabis was found growing in 3 plots in the forest area around one of the villages of Tepelena, and a man named Bledar Balia was arrested after being found tending the marijuana crop. That's the end of our edition for today. Thank you so much for choosing Aura News as your source for daily news updates in English. Have a great night and see you on Monday.